Hi, this is Barbara Reynolds at the Corporation for National Service. Thank you for joining me today to talk about submitting nominations for the 2018 Excellence in AmeriCorps Awards. I'm going to spend just a few minutes with you today talking through, providing a brief overview of the awards. I want to give you some details on the process for this year, for 2018, talk a little bit about how to submit submissions, how to write good nominations, and then how to actually submit in the online system, which is called challenge.gov, and then I'll have a few wrap-up comments. I will provide some information via the PowerPoint slides that you're looking at, and then we will go into challenge.gov into the system as part of this presentation as well, and look at the actual fields and the way that the system works. I just want to make sure that you understand the challenge.gov platform and that you're really comfortable with what you're seeing in there so you can get nominations in. So, as I said, we're talking about the Excellence in AmeriCorps Awards today. These are awards that were created just a few years ago by the corporation's AmeriCorps State and National Director. We created these awards to honor the longtime service and support of Senator Tom Harkin, who had worked in Congress for many, many years and was just a tremendous champion of AmeriCorps. So the corporation created these awards in his honor. Senator Harkin came and presented the first awards. And since then, we have each year asked for help from you, from our colleagues around the country, to identify candidates for the awards and to submit nominations. So that's where we are this year. We announced the launch of the AmeriCorps Awards a couple of months ago, and we're coming up in June on the deadline. So we created the awards, as I said, in 2014. Last year, there were 5 recipients. You can actually see who those 5 recipients were, as well as just brief descriptions of what they did, what it was that they were nominated for the AmeriCorps Awards at the link in front of you. This press release is posted on the corporation's website, which is nationalservice.gov. If you want to access that website, just go to nationalservice.gov and then in the search box type in 2017 AmeriCorps Awards and you will find the recipients. For this year, again, we have 5 categories that we're looking for nominations for. There are 2 categories for programs, as well as 2 specific categories for currently serving AmeriCorps members or alumni. And then the 5th category can apply either to programs or to members or alums. So we're inviting you and all of your colleagues and your members, your alumni, everyone you work with, to think about this opportunity to recognize extraordinary service around the country. We are particularly looking for stories of excellent service for programs, as I said, members or alumni. We're looking for descriptions of new programs, innovative service, looking for programs or members that engage people with disabilities. And then we're looking for stories about transformational service for the members themselves, himself or herself, as well as transformation for the community. So really want to encourage you to, as I said, work with everyone in your network and really think about folks who may be good candidates for these awards. It really is. It's such a special time of the year that we get to pause and really raise up the folks that we work with. So here are a few of the details on the awards. First of all, as I said, you are invited to submit nominations, and specifically we mean our State Service Commission colleagues, AmeriCorps programs at any level, so national programs, state programs, local programs, program sponsors or operating sites, looking for really anyone who engages with AmeriCorps is invited to submit a nomination, as well as individuals, so members who are serving or alumni who are serving, who have served in AmeriCorps. The nomination itself is a pretty simple process. It's just a 500-word essay. And so, as I said, in a minute, we're going to look at the system for submitting those nominations. But I think, there are a couple of great pieces of news. One is that this is an opportunity to really shine the light on extraordinary service around our country, and 2, that the process or the actual nomination itself is a pretty easy task, of just a short essay, though many of you know, of course, trying to write something that's brief can often be very challenging. But just a short essay is required, and then, as I said, the deadline coming up in June is June 13th to submit the nominations for the 2018 awards. We will, after the nominations come in mid-June, there'll be a couple of phases of screening that will occur from CNCS staff, and then we will be ready to contact the nominators, those of you who are listening who submit nominations, as well as the recipients themselves by the end of July. When we do that, when we reach out to folks, what we're going to do is invite the award recipients to attend a luncheon celebration along with a guest. That luncheon occurs as part of an annual conference that the corporation has, and the specific dates, the date is September 13th. That'll be a luncheon, and we'll be holding that at the Hilton Crystal City in Arlington, Virginia. So when we reach out to the recipients in July, to notify them that they've been nominated and selected, we'll also invite them and a guest to attend this luncheon. The corporation will provide funds for travel, as well as funds for lodging at the Hilton for 1 or 2 nights of that week, depending on where our recipients are. We've had recipients in the past who've come from the West Coast or who've come from further away, and we just want to make sure that the recipients and their guests have plenty of comfortable travel time. They're able to stay over if that makes sense at the Hilton. So we'll do that as part of the package for the awards. So I want to jump right in just to the submission itself. We talked about the great opportunity of this, who submits the nominations, what we're looking for. There are a couple of pieces, or 2 parts rather, to submitting nominations. First of all is the hard part, I would say, and that is writing the nomination itself. So a few steps that I think are important here. Obviously, we're going to review all of the guidance. There's very specific instructions provided on challenge.gov. We're going to look at that in just a minute. So for writing a nomination, please review all that carefully. Then I would say write the nomination text, the actual essay, those 500 words, in some sort of word processing document in Word or whatever makes sense for you. That way you can better, count your words. You can spell check more easily. It'll just be an easier process for you to do the writing in a Word document. And then I would encourage you, once we get into challenge.gov, you'll see there's a feature in the system where you can upload photos or other supplemental materials. Those are not required to submit nominations. In fact, the 3 years that we've had these, most nominations did not include supplemental materials, but it is something to consider. It's certainly helpful, and I think helps tell the story for the reviewers and for folks as we're looking at information. So part 1, getting the nomination text itself together. And then part 2 is more the mechanical and what frankly I hope is an easier part of the process for you. And that is just getting the information into the system, into challenge.gov. So before we jump into the system, I'm going to switch my screens on the slide in front of you so we can look at it in real time. I just want to do a quick terminology primer. Challenge.gov is its own system. It's a standalone marketplace of ideas for the federal government. There are hundreds of agencies that will use challenge.gov to post opportunities and solicit proposals and input for ideas and solutions in this challenge.gov system. It's incredibly, I think, user-friendly. I hope. You guys please let me know. And because it is this kind of cross-agency platform, the terminology does not line up with AmeriCorps, right? It doesn't line up with the words that I just used for you in the beginning of this orientation. And when you go into the system, I just want you to know what you're looking at. So when we, in our world, to interpret the challenge lingo into AmeriSpeak, when you see challenge, the word challenge in the site, what we mean and what we're talking about for this process are the AmeriCorps awards, right? The Excellence in AmeriCorps awards. When you see solution on this platform, what we mean are the nominations. So there'll be a link that says submit solution that we'll see in just a minute. What that means to you and what that means to us is this is where on the platform you will actually put in the nomination for the AmeriCorps award recipients. There'll be a link that says rules in the challenge.gov system. What that means for us is that the rules equals the specific instructions for nominators. So that's where that rules link is where you're going to find the detailed instructions on what the nomination text should contain what you should be thinking about as you're writing your nomination, and then very specific how-to step-by-step instructions for putting this info into challenge.gov. So the rules equals the instructions for nominators, and then there's a tab called discussion in the platform, and that's where any of the nominators or anyone who's accessing this link will be able to submit questions or comments. And so that's a Q&A. Sometimes you may refer to that as an FAQ, but that in the challenge system is called discussion. So next I'm going to switch my screen over, and you'll probably be seeing something change now on the screen in front of you. So I've gone from the PowerPoint slides that I was just presenting now to challenge.gov. So you can see the URL at the top of my screen is just challenge.gov, and then it gives the rest of it for the 2018 Excellence in AmeriCorps Awards. You should be seeing the screen now. It's got a white background, and this is the navigation of the screen is pretty consistent. As we move through the tabs, you'll see just the header stays the same, and then the text, the stuff that's important for you to look at, is right there in the middle. So I just want to point out a few things on this page in the system. You can see along the left side the terminology that I just talked through with you. So you see the challenge details, which means the nomination details, discussions, solutions, which means nominations. You can see the rules, and then submit solution. And because I am logged in and I'm the challenge manager, there are actually a couple of extra fields here. You'll see manage solutions and edit this challenge. When you go in to submit a solution, you won't have those tabs, just to be clear. I just want to explain why you'll see something that's slightly different than what I have here. But it's only those two tabs that are different. All the other links are the same. So just want to show you what we have. So on this home page, the About the Challenge or the challenge details, this again is just the overview information on what the awards are. The purpose, I'm just scrolling down so you can see how this looks as we move through. I'm going to click now onto the discussions link. You can see here, this is where folks, if there is something that you want to put in, you just type it into the comment box, and then you submit the comment. And then the system will hopefully show that it's in there. Yep, so now you should see on the screen in front of you that I just posted a test comment. So that's exactly how it will look. You can see that Sean earlier this month submitted a question. Anyone at any time, please feel free to submit questions, and we will respond to you within a day. We monitor these discussions every day. All right, so I'm just moving through the page now, just so you can see at this point the public solutions. There's nothing that's been posted here. On the Rules tab, as I said, the Rules tab is really where all of the instructions for the nominators, so for those of you who I hope are hearing me and are looking at this and you're going to be submitting nominations, go to the Rules for all the details. So on this tab, as you can see, are the list of the award categories again, and there's more detail provided under each category. So back a minute ago when I said part one was writing your nomination, this is what I mean by read all of the guidance that we have in here. So read the considerations for each of these categories, and then think who in your network and your organization would be good candidates. So again, Rules tab, you're going to get a lot of that detail. Scrolling down, there's a whole bunch on this tab. So I just want to really point out each category for you. Again, the eligibility, we are inviting nominations for all types of AmeriCorps colleagues. So we're looking for nominations from AmeriCorps State, National, Tribal AmeriCorps programs, AmeriCorps Vista, and AmeriCorps NCCC. The nomination content and the instructions for writing nominations, these two fields that you see here. Again, this is really detailed guidance on what that 500-word essay should contain. So please take a look at it closely, and then just go step by step here to get your 500-word essay pulled together again as a Word document in a separate place, I would say, separate from challenge.gov. And then once you're ready, once you feel like the content is ready to go and you're ready to actually go into the system, again, about halfway down on this rules page, you see there are step-by-step instructions for how to submit. So print this out, follow along. Again, I hope it's super user-friendly. I hope these instructions are clear and that the system will be user-friendly for you to just go in and do it. And then in a second, we're going to do this together. I'll show you how to submit a solution, but I just wanted to let you know that those step-by-step instructions are here. And then at the bottom of this page, we just have frequently asked questions. So anything that's come up this year or that's come up in years past about the awards, we just publish here at this tab so everyone can see it. So I'd say if you do have a question and you're thinking about posting something at that discussions tab, take a quick peek down at the frequently asked questions first and see if we've already addressed it. And as I said, don't hesitate at all to click on a question and submit something under discussions. Okay, so now we've looked at the challenge.gov website. We've clicked through a few of these first tabs, and now we want to look at how you go from writing the content of your nomination to actually putting it into this system, into the mechanics of challenge.gov. So to do that, you will click on the Submit Solution link as I just demonstrated. Excuse me. You'll then get to this page that shows you. Submit Solution is at the top of this page. You'll see that there's a field for title. I'm just typing in test into these fields just to show you what this looks like. But if you go back to rules, they're actually very specific instructions about what you should put in the various fields and how the order in which you should present the information. So please do that. I don't want to take time to do that on this demonstration, but I do want to show you what these fields look like. You can certainly insert your website if you want. I'm not going to take time to upload images. That'll slow down the demonstration a bit, but here's the place where, again, if you have photos, if there's supplemental materials that you would like to support this nomination, you are welcome to do that here. And this is the place in the system where you would submit those materials. And then I'm scrolling down again in the Submit Solution tab, the field where you see description. This is where you're going to put in the essay. So you should see I'm typing that in here. It's not 500 words, obviously. I'm just going to do some test language so you can see it. Copy and paste it from your Word document. Take a quick glance at it to make sure the challenge.gov platform didn't do anything weird to your formatting, and then keep scrolling down to get to Submit Solution. You can choose to make your nomination public or private in this point, and you see hide the contents of my submission from others on challenge.gov. We don't have a preference of how you do that. You can choose to make it public or private, but just know that it starts with the default position is that the solutions are hidden. So you can choose to make them public. Again, for our purposes, for the process, we will collect submissions, both ones that have been selected to hide and those that are publicly visible. All right, and then you have terms and conditions that you'll need to review and accept. And then once you do that, you'll see there's an orange button that becomes available that says Submit Solution. So I've just submitted the solution into challenge.gov, and you can see on the slide in front of you now that there's a congratulations message that appears before you. The system does not send you anything else. There's no other notification for you, the nominator, you, the person who just hit that Submit Solution button, that this was received. So I think that's really, really good to know. The only way you know that the submission that you just tried to get in went through and that it actually was captured in the system is by this message. All right. So along those lines, it may be worth it to you to do a screenshot of this and save it. Save it as an email or save it as a document for yourself, just for your own record keeping. That way, if for any reason something comes up and you want to double check, or you want to reach out to us via the discussions and say, I think I submitted this nomination, can you confirm? It'll just be helpful for you to have this so you'll know exactly the date and the time, right, that you got this in if you capture it. Okay, so that's really just the demo that I wanted to share. As I said, I hope this is pretty user friendly. I hope it's something that you will find is is easy to do once the hard work, of course, of writing the text is all done. Again, if there are if anything comes up for you when you're in the system, you have got a very easy tool to use, and that is the discussions forum that's in the challenge.gov. So as we just demonstrated, please feel free to use that for comments, for questions. It helps us to have all of those things in that one place so that we can see collectively what the different users of our system and the users of this particular nomination opportunity, the kinds of things that you're commenting on and questioning, so we can improve for next year. And we can make corrections. If there's something that a lot of people have questions about, we can actually edit the challenge.gov text to make it clearer for folks. So I definitely want to do that. So today we just, as I said, provided a quick overview of the awards. We talked a little bit about the process and the timeline. We looked briefly at the two parts of submitting nominations, the actual part one of writing the content, and we demoed part two, the mechanics of submitting the nomination in the challenge.gov platform. And again, just a reminder, the nominations are due on June 13th. We very much look forward to reading them and hearing about all of the great service and the great AmeriCorps work that goes on around our country. So thanks again for making time today, and we will go ahead and wrap up this demonstration. Thank you so much.